Hello, I'm going to make a raw vegan angel delight pudding, which you can either serve as a mousse type pudding in a dish like a sundae, layer it up with fruit and what have you, or I'm also going to show you how to make a crust and use it as a pie filling. And it's going to be mixed berry. It's based on avocado actually. You could make a chocolate one, that works really well. Or even lime and coconut is really nice, but I'm going to do mixed berry today because it's pink and nice. Okay, so first of all I'm going to make the pudding. So just I don't really do measurements. I'm not that scientific. I'm not really a chef. So just gonna get some nice ripe avocados in the blender, and you can see I'm not really very good at cutting avocado either. This knife's great, it's ceramic so it doesn't oxidise the fruit and vegetables, so it should keep more of the nutrition in. And it's bloomin' sharp. So I'll just use one avocado, it's quite a big one. Yeah, you really want to make sure it's nice and ripe, because actually I find that when they're not ripe it tends to discolour quicker for some reason. You'd think it would be the other way around, but actually it kind of goes a bit grey sometimes. With this pudding I'm using raspberries and blueberries. It does go pink, but it, like I said before, it sort of goes a little bit grey after a while if you don't eat it straight away. So a good way of keeping its pink colour, I've sometimes put beetroot juice in it. I recently made a beetroot cake with a similar kind of mixture, and I just put some beetroot juice in there to make it a really nice fuchsia pink colour. So to that I'm going to put about, maybe, ideally this would have been melted, but it's not. I'm going to put about two heaped tablespoons of coconut oil. You want to get the nice virgin cold pressed coconut oil. And then, I mean, depending on how sweet you like things, I'm using agave. You could use honey, you could use stevia if you really wanted. I find the liquid ingredient helps to blend it up more. Yacon syrup, again, really low GI. I'm just going to put a good splodge of that, and then we can always taste it later and see if it needs more. And into that I will then put the berries. I'm not going to use all of these. I'll just probably put half. Probably the more blueberries you put, the less appealing the colour will be, so I'll put most of the raspberries in. And then, I mean, you really don't need a high-powered blender actually. This is a Blendtec. It is pretty good, but I've done it in a really cheap hand blender before, and it works just as well, because basically avocado blends up really smooth, berries blend up really smooth, so we're not trying to kind of battle against anything too gritty or hard here. We don't actually have a plunger for this, so we're using a wooden spoon. Hopefully that will work well. So let's go. That's actually, I think probably the berry ratio was a little bit too much, so I'm actually going to put a little bit more avocado in there. Probably should have done measurements, but you never know, because it depends, the water content of the fruit, it can vary. So I'm just going to put a bit more avocado in, just to make it a bit thicker and more creamy. And that way it will kind of set better as well, because you're sort of relying on the avocado to be your well, I suppose your sort of dairy substitute, I suppose, or gelatine or whatever. Yeah, just put a little bit more in. They're not actually really ripe enough. Sometimes they can feel nice and ripe on the outside, and it's just that thin layer near the skin that's ripe. And God, there are so many different varieties of avocado I hadn't realised. We can get so many over here, it's amazing. Amazing variety in our grocery shops. I think these ones are Spanish. Okay, that should be enough now. Let's see. Sweet enough. Yeah, definitely sweet enough. Cool. So what I'll do is I'll show you how to just serve it as a dessert in little ramekins, and you can really play around with this. Do it in a sundae dish. Layer it up with maybe you could do a berry one and a chocolate one, and layer it up in a tall glass. It's a great thing to serve at breakfast or as a dessert. Kids love it, hopefully. And you could top it with some cacao nibs, maybe some bee pollen, some crushed nuts, maybe some of the fresh berries as well. And yeah, there you go. So that's the dessert. How quick was that? So you've got all your everything you need, your protein, your good fats, your fresh fruit, and it's, yeah, it's fun. Kids will like that. And so to make it into a pie, I'll just show you, if I can find a bowl, I'll just show you how to make a quick crust. So I'll just put the rest of the filling there. Oh, I know. I've got a clean jug here. Aha! Here's one I made earlier. So in here, I'm just going to put some almonds. They've been soaked and dehydrated, or you don't have to dehydrate them, but it just makes the mixture a little less wet. And some dates, probably 2:1 ratio. You don't want it too sticky. And actually I find a pinch of salt really helps to bring out the flavour, just a tiny bit. Either pink Himalayan or rock salt, whatever you've got. And actually some vanilla is really nice as well. I haven't got any here right now. So we're just going to try and make a nice kind of dough consistency with this. It's our trusty plunger. Okay, that was a bit loud, sorry. I think that's going to need a little bit of coconut oil in there. Just bind it together. Just go by eye and just adding more dry or wet ingredients depending on how it's looking. This actually isn't my blender, I'm not used to it. This particular part of the recipe is best done in a food processor actually, because you don't really want a really sticky mush. You want it to still have a bit of texture. But this should do the trick. Let's see. Sorry it's a bit loud. What I've got here, some little silicone moulds to make little individual pies. So again, really good for kids. They think they're getting something naughty for pudding, or you know, breakfast, a pie, a heart-shaped pie, amazing. But you know, you're getting your good fats again with the nuts. Almonds are very alkalising. Dates are full of good fibre, full of iron. So you're just going to press that into the bottom of your mould. Again, you could use a big one and make one big pie with one like that maybe. But the silicone moulds are really great because it pushes it out so easily. And you can set it in the freezer. I mean, you can actually bake with those as well, but obviously we're not going to be doing that. So I'll just do one for now, just to show you. So pat it down, nice and flat, and then literally spoon your berry mix, or chocolate, or whatever it is you've decided to mix with the avocado, on the top. A bit neater than I have. And literally give it a shake, pop it in the freezer for about, oh, I don't know, 15 minutes, and it'll be like a frozen dessert. So I'll put it in the freezer now.